Picture this. A dog wags its tail, eager to play. It bounds up to a nearby cat, eyes bright and tongue lolling. And what does the cat do? Its back arches, its ears flatten, and a low growl rumbles from its throat. Before you know it, the cat darts away or swipes with a paw. That reaction may seem dramatic or even puzzling, but there's a fascinating world of instinct, behavior, and communication beneath that moment. Why do cats often seem to dislike dogs? The answer lies in their biology, their evolutionary history, and the fundamental differences in how they experience and interpret the world. To understand this tension, we first need to recognize that cats and dogs are two very different animals with entirely different communication styles. Dogs are social pack animals. They rely heavily on overt body language, facial expressions, and vocalizations to communicate with one another. They're generally extroverted, eager to engage, and thrive on interaction. Cats, on the other hand, are solitary hunters by nature. While domestic cats can form bonds and live in groups, their default behavior is much more reserved. They rely more on subtle cues, body posture, and scent marking than loud physical expressions. When a dog runs toward a cat with enthusiasm and tail wagging, it's often interpreted by the cat as a threat. What the dog sees as friendly and playful, the cat may read as aggression or invasion of personal space. Cats prefer calm, slow movements and a predictable environment. The sheer energy and unpredictability of many dogs, especially puppies, can overwhelm a cat's comfort zone. This fundamental mismatch in communication and play styles is one of the biggest reasons for friction between the two species. Moreover, cats are creatures of territory. They invest time and energy marking, surveying, and defending their space. Scent plays a big role in this. When a dog enters the cat's territory, especially without a proper introduction, it can feel like a violation. Dogs, being more adaptable and less territorial in many ways, may not pick up on these cues or may simply ignore them. But for a cat, it's a big deal. Their instinct is to protect their safe space, and hissing, growling, or hiding are all part of that defensive behavior. Another key aspect is body language. A dog that leans in with a wagging tail may have entirely good intentions, but the movement itself, fast tail wagging, forward stance, and direct eye contact, can be misinterpreted by a cat as confrontational. Cats, when relaxed, often avoid direct stares. Eye contact can be a challenge or a threat. Similarly, quick bounding movements, typical dog behavior, can trigger a cat's fight-or-flight response. The result is a tense encounter, even when the dog just wants to say hello. Size and speed also play a role. Even a small dog may be much larger and louder than a cat. The sound of barking, the pounding of paws on the floor, and the jingle of a collar can all act as stressors for a sensitive feline. Cats have incredibly sharp senses, and they react strongly to loud or sudden noises. A dog's vocalizations, especially barking or growling, can quickly register as a warning signal to a cat's brain. Their response? Get away, hide, or defend. But it's not just about sensory overload or misunderstood greetings. There's also a deep evolutionary layer to this dynamic. Cats evolved as solitary hunters. Stealth, patience, and quiet observation were key to their survival. Dogs, however, evolved to work in groups and coordinate efforts. That means dogs have a much higher tolerance for noise, chaos, and close contact. In the wild, a cat would rarely benefit from the kind of interaction that dogs crave. The result is a modern domestic environment where both animals carry thousands of years of evolutionary wiring that shapes how they respond to one another. It's also worth noting that cats are incredibly cautious animals. They don't like surprises. A sudden movement from a dog, even if it's not aggressive, can set off a cat's warning system. This caution isn't cowardice, it's survival. Cats prefer to observe and assess before deciding if a situation is safe. When a dog approaches too quickly or too directly, it robs the cat of that opportunity. The result is often a retreat, a defensive posture, or a hiss. Now, just because cats often dislike dogs at first doesn't mean they can't learn to coexist peacefully. Many do, but that process takes time, space, and mutual respect. A slow introduction where the cat can observe the dog from a distance, get used to its scent, and feel in control of the situation is key. Rushing this process almost always ends in conflict. That's not because the cat is being unfriendly, it's because the cat feels unsafe, And a core truth about cats is this: they must feel safe before they can feel sociable. Cats who have never been around dogs may be especially wary. Without early socialization, they may see dogs as nothing more than big, noisy threats. However, if a cat grows up with gentle dogs who respect its space, it can learn that dogs aren't dangerous. In fact, some cats and dogs become close companions, but those relationships are the result of careful introductions, patient supervision, and respect for the cat's boundaries. Another behavioral layer to consider is a cat's sense of control. Cats value autonomy. They want to choose when to engage, when to hide, when to play, and when to rest. Dogs, especially energetic or curious ones, can disrupt that autonomy. A dog that follows a cat around, tries to sniff them constantly, or wants to play nonstop becomes a source of stress. To the dog, it's just interaction. To the cat, it's intrusion. This difference in independence and interaction styles creates ongoing friction if not managed carefully. Interestingly, some of the most successful cat-dog relationships occur when the dog is calm, gentle, and respects the cat's boundaries. Older dogs, or breeds with more laid-back personalities, tend to be more compatible with cats. That's not because cats inherently like one breed over another, but because calm behavior is less threatening. A dog that sits quietly and allows a cat to come closer on its own terms is far more likely to earn the cat's trust. So, why do cats seem to dislike dogs? It's not hate. It's not even true dislike in the human sense. It's caution. It's instinct. It's a communication gap that must be bridged slowly and respectfully. Cats respond to how they feel. And when they feel overwhelmed, intruded upon, or unsafe, their response is defensive behavior. That includes hissing, hiding, or even swatting. But with patience and proper management, those defensive behaviors can soften over time. A cat that once bristled at the sight of a dog might one day nap peacefully beside it, but only if it feels secure. Understanding this behavior is also part of what makes cats such fascinating and rewarding pets. They teach us to slow down, to observe, to respect subtle signals. They require us to be mindful and considerate of their emotional state. And when a cat chooses to trust you, that trust is deeply meaningful. It's not given freely, it's earned. Cats might not always be the easiest pets to figure out, but they are among the most expressive. Their behaviors, even ones that seem negative at first, are rich with meaning. A hiss isn't just noise, it's a message. A swish of the tail, a glance over the shoulder, a quiet retreat to another room. Each tells a story. And when it comes to dogs, these stories often reflect a natural tension that arises from thousands of years of very different evolutionary paths. By understanding why cats act the way they do around dogs, we gain insight not only into their behavior, but into the broader world of animal communication. And with that knowledge comes the power to create harmony in a mixed pet household. It just takes time, respect, and a little bit of feline wisdom. Thanks for watching. Share your own cat-dog experiences in the comments below. We're always exploring the fascinating world of animals, and there's so much more to discover together. Hey there, thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you found it enjoyable, I would be incredibly grateful if you could consider liking this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay up to date on future uploads of awesome animal fact videos. Your support is what keeps this channel growing, and I genuinely appreciate every bit of it. Thank you.